don't mail in your movements. Don't just go for feel and make, oh my God, my glutes are burning. Ha, that's good enough. Yay, let's go get lattes. F that. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization, and today I have 5 rules of glute training for you. There are a little bit less rules and more like helpful hints to get your glutes bigger, which means more attention from the boys and the girls and anyone who's not in between those finite gender categories. Everyone loves big glutes, and if they don't, well, gee whiz, they're really missing out. Here's the thing. Rule number 1, lunges are superior. Because lunges allow you to stretch your glutes out a ton and put a ton of force through them, it gives them a unique advantage that exercises like squats, in most cases, and even hip thrusts do not have. That stretch under load element is something you really can't screw up with lunges as long as you lunge deep. And a big ticket item, 2 things for you of how to make lunges even better. First, per my colleague Jared Feather, put most of your weight on the lead leg. That's the one with the stretched glute. That's the one that's going to fuck you up. Use your back leg in lunges as more of a stabilization mini helper, not a prime driver. It's going to be tough when you get close to failure. Try to do your best with it. And second, what you can do, and this especially works well if you have dumbbells or if you have a Smith machine, is front foot elevated lunges. You take your front foot, you put it on like a 2-inch stable platform, your back foot goes down on the ground, your front glute, which is the thing that's getting trained in lunges the most, is now getting stretched even more deeply because you gently descend and gently touch your knee to the ground and come up. Oh my God, it's going to burn your ass up. And I mean literally your ass. And I mean literally burn in the sense of metabolite burn. Give that a shot. Some people will write whole articles or make whole videos or whole Instagram posts about like lunges are this and that. Shut up. Lunges are amazing. Don't shut up. We love you all, but lunges are amazing. Number 2, if you're going to do hip thrusts, they're a fine glute exercise. I would recommend doing them for high reps, sets of 15 to 30, and a top hold, a peak at the top of each hip thrust that holds the weight in its maximum end of the sex thrust position for 1 to 2 seconds, and then slowly control the eccentric, come back up and hold, and then slowly control, just like that. You can 100% do hip thrusts without those things. You can do them for lower reps. You can do them as pulse reps, where you just barely come up and come back down. You will end up having to use hundreds of fucking pounds on the bar. You're going to be in the 6-plate hip thrust club and chasing the 6-plate hip thrust dragon. I've actually seen numerous people at the gym who could hip thrust way more than me. I can hip thrust like 1 plate for a set of 15 or something, as I never practiced the shit. And if I practiced it, maybe 2 plates for a set of 15 after a while. Properly done. The thing is, my glutes are so big, they have to, you guys ever seen pictures of my backside in posing trunks on Instagram and it's not flexed? It like my ass comes up and goes down, it goes out. It's got its own shelf and shitload of glute mass. How come I'm not that strong? Well, I am actually that strong, but I'm doing the shit right. And I've seen people in the gym who've done like literally, I watched a girl do a 4-plate hip thrust for sets of 10. I look at her ass, bitch, you would love to have my ass instead. I'm talking about, I invented the fucking bubble butt. But on a serious note, where are the glutes? Well, it turns out that's improperly leveraged, putting your feet in the wrong position, pulsing at the top, hip thrusts to use the most weight is a journey that ends in you using a lot of weight for very little benefit. And it's annoying. You gotta slide 8 plates on the shit every time. Fuck that. Do it properly. If you're gonna do it for higher reps, and it's way better that way. Number 3, an excellent exercise you can try is a hybrid between a stiff-legged deadlift and a regular deadlift. It's a deficit conventional deadlift with your arms just outside of your legs and your legs are relatively close together, normal athletic stance or a little bit in. What you do is you start it from the top like a stiff-legged deadlift. You push your butt back and you bend your knees just enough so that the hamstrings are not the limiting factor. You don't feel that pull of a stiff-legged deadlift. You're just barely enough of your knee is flexed so that you're not in that pull. And you go super deep and you try to keep your back arched and your chest up the entire time. You bend over really far. Often you'll need a deficit. Pause at the bottom for a second. Essentially, the only prime mover in that exercise is the glutes. It's a great exercise. It's like a modified hybrid stiff-legged deadlift. It will mess your glutes up. It's a great exercise to try to do. If you're into supersetting some shit, A really good idea is to finish a set of walking lunges, come up to a barbell on a deficit, pick it up, and start doing those kind of glute deadlifts. Holy fucking shit, you will burn your glutes off your body. It'll be amazing. Next, rule number 4 is a little counterintuitive. If you do your leg presses, your hack squats, your squats, your every other exercise for your quads deep and strict and all the way down to where you can still have good technique, your heels are still on the ground, your back is really tight. If you go deep, glute involvement at a high degree of depth is huge, and glutes grow a ton from that stretch under load. What ends up happening is you can get really big glutes just by training quads properly. It pains me to no fucking end when I see girls, especially that want big ass glutes, doing fucking quad work halfway down bullshit squats. The leg press is like little pulse reps. I've been training off on machines with girls where the girls do more on the leg press machine than me. Bitch, have you seen my fucking quads? How the hell is that possible? Well, they do an 8th rep, and then they have to do tons more volume on glutes, and they do those wrong too. It's just a ton of work for very little benefit. Here's the real deal. If you leg press, hack squat, squat, all that great quad stuff to a full range of motion, as full as you can do with good technique, your glutes pick up so much hypertrophy from that, you might have to do a few sets of lunges and hip thrusts twice a week, and that's all your glutes can even handle. They'll be the biggest they can be. Instead of doing a shitty job training your quads and barely training your glutes during, do an amazing job of training your quads, and your glutes will be halfway where you want them to be just from that. I can't overemphasize the importance of that rule. Rule number 5, focus, like with every other exercise when you do glute training, on getting close to failure and progressing load with strict technique. This is something that was really kind of pioneered, not the concept, but as applied to glute training by the famous Mr. the Glute guy, Brett Contreras. Brett took a bunch of bikini girls and he was like, you're going to track your lifts and to get stronger over time in the compound movements. And they're like, oh, but it's hard. And he's like, shut up. And they're like, okay, fine. They did it and their glutes exploded. Why? Because a lot, and no offense, this is all meant with love, a lot of what passes for glute training with bikini athletes and girls just wanting to have bigger glutes, it's really just kind of doing the motions. Like when you see like a girl doing the assisted pull-up machine and she's on it standing and she's pushing down with one leg to do the one glute press. What is the reps in reserve on that? An infinity? And like, you can't even lift your own body weight up? How can you do a lunge when you need assistance to be able to do a fucking glute press? Like, this is insane. Don't mail in your movements. Don't just go for feel and make, oh my God, my glutes are burning. That's good enough. Yay, let's go get lattes. Fuck that.
What do you get when PhD sports scientists collaborate with pro bodybuilders? The most effective muscle growth training app ever made. Get yours now.
Write your reps down, do strict technique, and every week increase by a rep or increase by 5 pounds. And as you get close to failure, grit those fucking teeth. Don't actually grit them because dentists say that's bad for your teeth, I guess. Do what it takes to progress. You used to be able to lunge with good technique the 20s for a set of 20. 2 years later, it should be the 30s or the 40s. You used to be able to do those glute deadlifts with 135. A year or two later, it should be 185. If you get stronger, progressively loaded, you never have to second guess yourself because the results are clearly that you can lift more weight. And at one point, you'll want to look and see how big your ass is, and you'll turn around and you'll hit some old lady, knock her off the side of the road, and a bus comes in and just lady explodes in a bunch of pieces. It's okay. She lived a good life. She was 97. She didn't want to be around anyway. Last thought she had was like, Jesus, guys, only someone with their massive glutes would just hit me into the road so I could fucking die. Boom. And then it happened. God works in mysterious ways. You're going to have to live with the rest of your life with the insane guilt for having killed a person with your now insanely muscular glutes. But hey, you want to be a big glute star? That's the price you're going to have to learn to pay. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Consider our members area, just $5 more every month, $5 more than zero. I suppose YouTube is free, and it always will be. We're never going to switch to members only, as far as I can tell. We're going to be putting on YouTube videos forever. They're going to stay free. We got extra ones that are nerdy and more technical, help you with coaching your clients if you're a personal trainer. We have those in the members area, and we have the Team Full ROM forum. Come join myself and a few other folks in a great community. We help each other. We look over each other's technique. I answer a crap load of questions every week. Get in there and show us your glutes. Why not? See you there.